Carthage was a major power. This ancient city-state in modern-day Tunisia ruled the Mediterranean Sea. Its strength came from its ships. Carthage controlled trade and fought wars on the water. For hundreds of years, Carthage was king of the seas. Its sailors and shipbuilders were famous. Carthage left its mark on history. Its location made it rich and powerful. Carthaginians were good traders and strong warriors. Their navy protected their interests. Carthage's success was tied to its control of the sea. They fought with other powers, especially the Romans. Sea battles were crucial in deciding empires. Carthage's warships showed its power. They were skilled shipbuilders. Carthage's story shows the importance of naval power. It's a tale of strategy and survival. Lessons from Carthage's rise and fall are still relevant. Sea power remains crucial as the world changes. Carthage's legacy is a powerful reminder of the importance of the sea. Carthage's strength at sea had deep roots. It came from the Phoenicians, who were great sailors. These skilled sailors and shipbuilders were ahead of their time. The Phoenicians built trade networks across the Mediterranean. They even traveled as far as Britain and the Red Sea. Their ships were built for speed and easy steering. The Carthaginians improved Phoenician ship designs. Early Carthaginian ships, like the Gaulos, resembled Phoenician ships. These ships had a strong keel, steady in rough seas. The hull was built with overlapping planks, making it waterproof and strong. The Gaulos was good for trade or war. It used both sails and oars, moving in any wind. The Carthaginians used these ships to protect trade routes and explore. The Phoenicians gave Carthage a strong start to their naval power. It gave them the tools and knowledge to rule the seas. As Carthage grew, so did its goals. It needed a stronger navy to protect its growing interests. This led to special warships. These warships became the most important part of the Carthaginian fleet. The Phoenicians were very important in shaping Carthage's naval power. As Carthage became more powerful, it needed a stronger navy. The city-state moved from simple trading ships to special warships. These warships were built to sink enemy ships and control the seas. The way Carthaginian warships changed showed how clever they were. The first warships were simple, with one row of oarsmen called monoremes. But the Carthaginians quickly realized they needed bigger, stronger ships. This led to birames, with 2 rows of oarsmen, which were faster and easier to steer. Then came the trireme, with 3 rows of oarsmen, a big step forward in ship technology. Triremes were faster and more agile, and they carried more soldiers for boarding enemy ships. These ships were the main part of the Carthaginian fleet for many years, but the Carthaginians kept trying new designs. This led to their strongest warships, the quadriremes and quinquiremes. These ships were amazing for their time. They made Carthage famous as a naval superpower. Carthaginian warships were a symbol of their power. The best Carthaginian warship was the quinquirim. This warship was an amazing piece of ancient technology. It was the result of hundreds of years of shipbuilding. The quinquirim was built for speed, maneuverability, and power. It was the ultimate weapon at sea. The quinquireme was a big ship, about 45 meters long and 5 meters wide. It had 5 rows of oars. Each vertical line had 3 oars, making it incredibly fast and agile. 300 oarsmen could power the ship. The quinquireme needed a skilled crew. A typical crew had 300 oarsmen, 25 sailors, 6 officers, and 120 marines. The oarsmen moved the ship, the sailors handled the sails and rigging, and the officers were in charge. The marines were the fighters, boarding enemy ships and fighting hand-to-hand. The Carthaginians were great at building many ships, using the same parts for their quinquiremes. This made building faster and easier. It also meant repairs were quick and easy. The quinquireme showed how clever the Carthaginians were and how good they were at ship technology. It was a ship that scared their enemies. The quinquireme was the peak of Carthaginian naval power. Section 5. Naval Warfare. Tactics and strategies. Sea battles in the ancient Mediterranean were brutal. It was a clash of wooden ships, bronze rams, and human strength. Winning depended on the skill of the crew, the speed and maneuverability of the ships, and the cleverness of the commanders. The Carthaginians were masters of naval warfare. They developed clever tactics and strategies that let them rule the seas for centuries. The main tactic was ramming. Carthaginian warships had a heavy bronze ram on the front. This ram was designed to break the hull of enemy ships, making them sink quickly. Ramming needed good aim and timing. The attacking ship had to hit its target at the right angle and with enough force to do a lot of damage. Carthaginian commanders were also good at flanking maneuvers. They would try to outsmart their opponents and attack from the sides or back. This tactic worked well against bigger, slower ships. Boarding was also important. Carthaginian marines were well trained and equipped for close-quarters combat. Section 6. The Corvus, a Roman game-changer. The Punic Wars, a series of fights between Rome and Carthage, changed naval warfare. The Romans, who weren't good at sea at first, quickly learned and invented new things. One invention was the Corvus, a boarding bridge that changed sea battles. The Corvus, meaning raven's beak in Latin, was a simple but effective tool. It was a long wooden beam with a heavy spike at the end. The beam was on a pivot and could be raised or lowered. When a Roman ship got close to an enemy ship, the Corvus would be dropped onto the enemy deck, the spike sticking into the wood and holding the ships together. This turned sea battles into land battles. Roman soldiers could now board enemy ships in large numbers, taking away Carthage's advantage in maneuverability. The Corvus helped the Romans win several important battles, changing who was more powerful in the Mediterranean. The Corvus showed how important new inventions were in war. Section 7. Key battles: Mylae, Ecnomus, and the Aegates Islands. The fights between Carthage and Rome included some of the biggest and most important sea battles in ancient history. These battles pushed the limits of naval technology, strategy, and human endurance. 3 battles are especially important: Mylae, Ecnomus, and the Aegates Islands. The Battle of Mylae in 260 BC near Sicily was the first big sea battle between Rome and Carthage. It was the first time the Romans used the Corvus. Even though they had fewer ships, the Romans won, capturing or sinking many Carthaginian ships. The Battle of Ecnomus in 256 BC off the coast of Sicily was one of the largest sea battles ever. Even though they had more ships, the Carthaginians lost, showing how good Roman tactics and the Corvus were. The Battle of the Aegates Islands in 241 BC near Sicily ended the First Punic War. This Roman victory gave them control of the western Mediterranean and started a new era of Roman power at sea. Section 8. The decline of a maritime empire. Carthage's naval power declined slowly. This happened because of several things, including the rise of Roman naval power, the damage from the Punic Wars, and problems within Carthage itself. The once great Carthaginian fleet, which had ruled the Mediterranean for centuries, became much weaker. The Romans, not good sailors at first, learned quickly. They copied and improved Carthaginian ship designs. They also developed new tactics and strategies, like using the Corvus, which helped them win battles. The Roman navy became very strong, able to challenge Carthage. The Punic Wars hurt Carthage badly. The city-state lost many men and ships. Problems within Carthage also contributed to its decline. Political fighting and economic instability weakened the city-state. The once united Carthaginian state was divided and unstable, which made its downfall faster. Section 9. Legacy and innovation. The enduring impact of Carthaginian shipbuilding. The Carthaginians lost to Rome, but their legacy as a sea power continued. Their innovations in shipbuilding, naval tactics, and sea trade left a lasting mark on history. Carthaginian shipbuilders were very skilled. They developed clever ways to build large, powerful warships. Their quinqueremes were amazing pieces of engineering. These ships were faster, easier to steer, and had more weapons than any other ship at the time. The Carthaginians also contributed a lot to naval tactics. They were good at ramming and flanking. They understood the importance of speed, maneuverability, and working together in sea battles. Other seafaring peoples studied and copied their tactics, which influenced naval warfare for hundreds of years. The Carthaginians were pioneers of maritime trade. They built huge trade networks across the Mediterranean. Their trading empire made them very rich and powerful, shaping the economy and politics of the ancient world. The legacy of Carthaginian shipbuilding shows human ingenuity.